Tremendous day, great people. Welcome to the Corey Webster Experience, your podcast for all things sports on and off the playing field. Today is no different day. I am Corey Webster. I am C Webb. And, we're going to talk about NFL Combine. I think the NFL Combine has been going on since February 24th, 2025, if I'm not mistaken. And it goes on until March 3rd. That's a great day because, March 2nd is a national holiday for everybody. It's Pisces season. Shout out to all the Pisces out there. Happy birthday to all of the Pisces out there in the world. I am a Pisces myself. I have a born day coming up, and I, pray to God that all goes well and I continue to see, many years on this earth. So, the NFL Combine is like a ground for, getting new athletes, organizations, getting together, trades, checking on different individuals to see how they can add to their team to make them a better team going into the upcoming football season. You understand? So it's going to be interesting what happens. I think this year we have a lot of, interesting prospects and a lot of prospects that didn't get invited, but that doesn't mean that your goals won't be accomplished. It's a lot of people that didn't go to the NFL Combine that still had a great NFL career. So don't be down on yourself. It doesn't determine you. It doesn't define you. You can still make a name for yourself without going to the NFL Combine. So we're going to talk about a whole bunch of things, some do's, some don'ts, some things that happened at the Combine, bring you behind the scenes of what all is transpiring throughout the week of everybody evaluating these athletes to see how and who they're going to pick in this upcoming draft. So we got the Queen behind the scenes, the lovely voice that you guys hear all the time. And, she got a whole bunch of questions because I don't think they have ever been to NFL Combine. So they should have a few questions about this Combine. And we're going to let her kick it off with those questions.
So we're going to start with personal experience at the Combine.
Personal experience. You want to know, y'all getting personal, right? Everybody want to get personal. First of all, the Combine starts for most, not just with your body of work that you have done, your collegiate experience, but as soon after, you are kind of building your, I don't want to say, it's basically your resume, right? And you're trying to detail it up as much as you can because the NFL, the people that are going to be investing millions of dollars in you, they're going to go back to your college days, your high school days, your middle school days, your elementary school days, the person that you looked over or that you picked on in school. They're going to go try to find all those things out before they invest millions of dollars into you. So, hey, if you're living your life in a godly way, you have nothing to be worried about. And if you understand that we all are sinners and you ask for forgiveness of your sins, then when you get in these meeting rooms with those GMs and those owners, you should be fine. But that's not the case for a lot of people. So I feel like the NFL Combine is a time to find, nitpick with every different way your athlete, whether it's from the medical side, the psychologist side, the social side, the teammate side, every aspect of life, they're trying to dive into it. So for me, I'm a God-fearing man, so I didn't have too much to worry about. But I went to the Combine. I had an injury early my senior year, so I got evaluated so many times by different doctors and things of that nature. I didn't do anything at the Combine. I know I didn't run. I didn't do any of the drills. I did all that at my pro day back in Baton Rouge at LSU, so that was another thing. But I did all the interviews, and I forget each team has a certain amount of interviews that they can do with different players. I forget the exact number, maybe like 40 or 45 or so. So they get to bring whoever their prospects are. That's from the first round to, even guys that they may not draft that may, fall. They want to interview those guys that they like, guys, and the things that they need as far as their team. So they bring those guys in, interview them. They have testing, not only physical testing, like, 40, shuttle, drills that they do, bench press. But they also have like psychological testing, Wonderlink tests and things of that nature to see, how do you think, how do you process, how fast, how slow, things of that nature. They also have medical testing that they do. If you had any injury, they're going to put you through a whole lot of tests, whatever that injury was. They have Cybex machines there for legs, for shoulders. Everything will be tested there. So you're going to test your strength versus your good arm versus your weaker arm or your injury. Whatever that injured body part was, they're going to test it against the good one. So all those things are happening. It could be a bit overwhelming for some, and I understand why. So, but my experience, I had a pretty cool experience. I got to meet with a whole lot of coaches, meet with some individuals, and just to learn the whole process.
How did you manage the pressure of performing in front of scouts, coaches, and general managers?
Keeping the main thing, meaning preparation, I think, helped with that. So, I was always taught to, be prepared. So prior preparation prevent poor performance. So I really didn't look at it as pressure. I just looked at it as another opportunity to showcase my talent, showcase my God-given ability that I have nourished over the time. And that was it. I think the toughest thing is just navigating through shark infested water. Everybody's not there for the right reasons. I don't care if it's coaches, GMs, owners, teams, organization, everybody, doctors, everybody's not there for the right, other players, everybody's not there for the right reasons. So just navigating through that, being strong minded, being my own man is, I think would be a challenge to some.
Gotcha. All right. What was the interview process with the NFL teams like?
Every team have their unique way of going about doing it. Teams have been doing this for a long time. Even though they may have different individuals, they may even evaluate themselves to get better, to make sure that they're drafting better, getting the people that they want or getting what they want out of the draft. But that can be overwhelming because some people have owners, some people have multiple owners in the room. Some people have GM, head coaches, and it depends on, how high you may be projected to go. If you project high, which, a lot of these guys at the combine will be, you're going to have everybody in that meeting room, especially if you're going to be one of the top picks. If you're going to be the first pick of that team, everybody's going to be in there. Owner, GM, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. And, they may be picking your brain when it comes to football as well as off the field things. So, but it's things out there. I've written a program, it'll be out next year, but there's things out there that can help these athletes to prepare for these questions and to prepare for the combine, not just on the physical side of things, but also on what I like to call the software side of things. But for me, I was prepared. I was, I think my dad did a great job making me be the man that I am. I had a great head coach in middle school, I had a great head coach in high school, and arguably I got one of the best coaches to prepare me for it, which is Nick Saban in college. So I was prepared to be under the gun, to get up there and, perform on the watermark board, And we was very detailed, from even letting you know how to write on the board, how to draw up plays, Like make sure that your penmanship is, legendary, And what I mean by that,
you want to make sure that penmanship is legible.
No.
I'm going to show you it's legible.
I understand legible, but I'm talking about legendary. When you get up there, you leave a lasting impression on them, not just by what you know, but also how legendary is written up there on the board. I understand legible. Yes, we want it to be. I feel that if it's legendary, then it's legible. So what I mean by that, I'm talking about making the ovals a certain way, making the defensive ends or the cornerbacks a certain way. Not just being an X and O guy, but actually they up there. Wow, look at this guy penmanship. Right? And not only the penmanship is good, he drew it where a third grader could understand it. Like I can understand it. I can teach it to my teammates. He taught it to me. So all those things are can be taught to a player if they don't know it. Because everybody, I'm going to tell you, man, everybody can't read coverages. Everybody can't draw up coverages. Some people are playing off of natural, raw talent, and that's good. But I think the better players are understanding how to nurture that talent and turn it into a high IQ when it comes to being on the field and being in the meeting room. So that could be overwhelming, but I ain't gonna lie, it was fun to me. I'll tell you one story. I had one guy that knew me from younger age. He knew me. He knew where I was from, and he tried to pick with me a little bit, but I think it kind of reversed because I was a guy that can stand up and not let him pick with me. He knew I was a, high character guy. He knew the family I came from, and he tried to belittle me in front of GMs, defensive coordinators, and things of that nature. And the way I stood up to him, I have received great praise for that after. I didn't know that in the presence of it, but I'm like, man, you know who I am. Like, my track record speech. I don't know what you're searching for, but you know who I am, you know what I mean? And I'm going to be the same person in front of you, that I'm going to be in front of my pastor, that I'm going to be in front of my priest, that I'm going to be in front of this head coach. So whatever you're trying to do here is not going to work. And I remember later on in my career, some of those individuals that was in that meeting room was like, hey, man, great job standing up for yourself. They remembered that. So, be yourself, especially if you come from, it's okay. If you come from, a person of higher integrity and a person that's a character, and you don't be a character, be yourself. A lot of these interviews don't want their face shown on TV, but all this mockeration going on behind the camera and this, that, and the third, we're going to have to call them out. We're going to have to get on them. We can't just let them sit behind the camera, just ask all these questions.
If I have plans, if I have something going on, I don't need you to go extra a little further. So stay with me. Work with me.
Oh, work with you.
All right?
Words of a queen.
Yes, work with me. All right. But let's move on to the physical workouts and drills. Which specific drills or workout did you find most challenging, or how did you prepare for them?
Like I said, I was prepared. So Reggie Williams prepared me along, with Coach Moffitt at LSU. Reggie Williams was the guy that we went to for, I guess we would call pre-draft training. And we was prepared for it. I wouldn't say none of them, was overwhelming. It just is what it is. Some people allow the pressures to be too big for themselves, and they don't perform as they should, even when they are prepared, because it's so much going on. Like I just told you, you have psychological testing, you have medical examinations, you have team meetings and things of that nature. And outside of those interviews and meetings you have small meetings where you in this big dining room, this big ballroom, and coaches, scouts can just come up to you and ask you questions all day. So you have a formal meeting where you're in a hotel room where it's just you and the respected team that you're meeting with. And then you have this big ballroom where it's all 350 players, 349 players, and they all in there, and there's a lot of distraction and chiming and talking going on, and scouts just, you got to be in there a certain allotted time, and scouts just, I think that would be probably the most overwhelming thing for some individuals, because not only are you talking to the respected scout or team, you also have a whole bunch of players around you, and some people get lost and can't focus in that. But for me, none of it was overwhelming. And like I said, I didn't do anything at the combine. I did everything at my pro day back at LSU.
All right. Speaking of that, how did you approach the preparation for the 40-yard dash, and what techniques did you focus on to improve your time?
Well, we was one of the first groups that did everything at our home state. Everybody was going off to these, combine training institutions and things of that nature. And I'm like, let's be for real, man. LSU is what got us here. The 4 years we was here working on our craft. So now the guy from Baton Rouge, Reggie Williams, he did some things to, hone in our skills and was more detailed in the drills that we were going to do. So you already know that you're going to do the L drill. You're going to do the shuttle. You're going to do the 40-yard dash. You're also going to do the bench press weight of 225, how many reps you can do. And then you're also going to do some skills drills depending on what position you play. So in doing that, we have to learn how to, for the 40-yard dash, for the L drill, for the shuttle drill, you have to learn how to have a good start, how to start and stop and stay low. So we perfected those drills with working on acceleration, working on starts, working on being able to bend at the ankle, knee, hip so you can change direction as fast as you would like without having any wasted steps or wasted motion, because if you do, that takes, or add more time to your seconds. And, the combine is about time measurement. So you don't want to add time. You want to, be a person that's detailed and have the lowest time available. Same thing with the 40. You want to have a great start in the 40 because you don't want to have any wasted steps. You don't want to pop up. You want to perfect that start. So when you're doing football, let me tell you, there's a lot of good 40 times don't translate to being speed and being fast on the football field. I know a lot of guys that didn't run great times, but were very quick and elusive on the field. And then vice versa. I know a lot of speedy guys that were, blazers and ran great times, but couldn't get open or couldn't get away from people when they're on the field. So it is a thing with when they say football speed versus track speed or versus just straight line speed. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's my take on those individual drills and preparing for them.
Alrighty, so that was the physical side. Let's touch back on the psychological side. How important do you think the psychological tests are in the evaluation process?
I don't think it's talked about enough, but it's equally as important as the physical side of it. And I think that's where a lot of kids lose a lot of money or lose a lot of leverage when it comes to the psychological side of it. I done seen a lot of guys go there and just drop the ball of it. Just drop the ball on the psych evaluations and things of that nature, It's some crazy stories that come out there when guys get in the room and teams or whatever ask them, hey, what do you need to get yourself ready for a game? And I remember one guy say, hey, man, at the combine, this is a job interview. One guy was like, before a game in college? And I'm not saying to lie. I'm not saying to go there with any type of manipulation. But this guy said,
saying don't say everything.
Yeah, it might be good. Some stuff, grandma said you don't have something good to say, don't say nothing. I think this was one of those moments. So guy was like, what do you need to, be good, be successful? How do you get yourself prepared for a game the night before? Guy said, man, give me a 6-pack of beer and some weed and I'm ready for the game. We were like, whoa, you know what I mean? So we have saw some guys go in there and just blow interviews up by lying or by, some cases telling the truth, not doing the right thing. So I think the psych side of it, is equally as important as the physical side of it for a lot of teams that want to win and that's looking to groom or help an individual be the best person that they can be, not just the best football player.
All righty. Let's talk about some common pitfalls or challenges. What are some common mistakes or misconceptions that prospects might have about the combine?
I heard one guy say, and I didn't see it at this time, he kind of made me aware of it, that it's like the slave trade. You know what I mean? How they, kind of parade the athletes in, you know what I mean? Because it can be a bit overwhelming. Like I remember going in and you only have some tights on, or you want to say some drawers on, some underwear on, you know what I mean? And you have no shirt on and they're putting you on the stage like you see at a lot of those, I didn't see them, but like we see in the textbooks and in the history of those slave trade, and we, kind of giving out his measurements with his drawers on, with his tights on, with his compression shorts on, no shirt on, no shoes on, no socks on, just the bare minimum. And we saying his hand size, his height, his wingspan, and we just calling that over loud mic in a large auditorium where it's a line of athletes walking up here, and it might be all DBs, all linebackers go at a time. But so again, just that can be overwhelming to a lot of individuals. And I remember one guy decided not to partake in the combine. I think even retired after seeing it and witnessing that. You know what I mean? So that is a big much, but also just not taking it serious. Like it's a job interview. You know what I mean? Some people just go there, think I'm gonna wheel it. You know what I mean? Because I'm athletic, I'm talented. That's just gonna get me over the hump. And I think some people lack of preparation can hurt them. And when I say lack of preparation in all facets, all areas that you're going to be tested in, the medical side, the psychological side, the spiritual side, always stay grounded. Have your spiritual side as your anchor in everything that you're doing. But even some people, the physical side, you know what your body needs, whether it's 2 a day, 3 a days, get yourself prepared for it. And, so you can have a good showing. Because ultimately you are interviewing for a job. It's a job interview.
All right, some do's and don'ts at the combine. Based on your experience, what are the key do's and don'ts for prospects attending the combine?
From the moment you get off the plane, you're being evaluated. You're being evaluated. Don't think for one moment that you're not being evaluated because you're at the dinner table or you're at the chow hall or you walking in between the place where the combine is taken up. That's Lucas Oil Field, walking in between there and where you're staying, the hotel room. You're being evaluated. You're being evaluated in the hotel. Don't think for a second that they're not evaluating you when the room is being checked because you have a curfew or when they're cleaning up your room behind you. Don't think that they're not taking all that into consideration. How you treat the staff that cleans up the hotel, how you leave your room. So you always being evaluated, every aspect of it. Don't think that you're not. Some do's or don'ts. Some people like to go out. Like that is not a time to go out. If you want to see Indianapolis, you come back and visit it later. This is a job interview. When it's time to go in the room, man, go in the room, get your rest, talk to your family and friends on the phone. Catch up on some things that you may see the next day. Prepare yourself for what you're going through. Rest. Make sure you're eating properly. You're hydrating yourself. That's some things that I would say do. Get your rest because it's an overwhelming situation because you're out there. You have a schedule from the moment you wake up till the moment it's time to go to sleep, and everybody's pulling you different ways. And I think that's why a lot of guys don't perform well at the combine, just because they're being pulled every different way from every minute that they're there. So, that could be a bit overwhelming and exhausting and just take a mental toll on people. So be sure to breathe, rest. That's some great. Prepare yourself and don't get there and think that you're not being evaluated. You're always being evaluated once you get off the plane. Don't go out.
Gotcha. So you gave us some great points, physical side, psychological side, all things in between. Post-combine. After completing the combine, what were your immediate next steps?
Well, just to continue working out, really and truly. You may not be working out to do those. Well, no, because depending on, for me, I didn't do anything at the combine. So my workout regimen stayed the same because I was preparing to do things for my pro day. So my pro day was the combine. Is now everybody pro day is on different dates. So I could team my workout and my training so I can be prepared for my pro day that was at LSU. At the time, my pro day was March something because I remember it was around my birthday, Pisces season again. You know what I mean? National holiday. So that's what I did. Went straight back to it. For the guys that perform at the combine, you have an opportunity to better your times. Like you went out there, you performed this. So now you can say, hey, I got 30 reps of 225 on the bench. I'm not going to do it at my pro day. I performed super well on my 40 time. I got a 4.3. I'm not going to run it at my pro day, or vice versa. I ran a 4.5 or 4.6. I want to better those times. So then I get to do it at my pro day. So guys have a decision to make depending on if they perform at the combine or not. If they perform well at the combine, they can elect not to do some of the things that they pro day, and vice versa. If they didn't perform well, then they can better those times or better those activities at their pro day. But needless to say, you got to continue to train because you're getting prepared for a team to draft you. That team draft you, you're going to have OTAs and things of that nature. So training mentally, physically is a must.
Okay. All right. Since you didn't do the 40 at the combine, whatever, just give us some insight on your pro day, meaning your performance.
Yeah.
What was your 40-yard time?
Oh yeah. So I didn't do nothing. I may have. I don't want to lie. I can't remember. You know, it's been a minute. I ain't gonna lie. It's been a couple of minutes, just a couple. I may have done the bench press. I can't remember. So anyway, but I didn't do nothing else but interview. But I may have done the bench press. I can't remember. Anyway, when I came back at LSU, I think I did 225 like 17 to 20 times. That wasn't important to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? Because as a DB, you do it 10 plus times. You're great. You know what I mean? So my 40 time, I remember that. I can remember all three because they kept making me run it over, saying I was rolling into it. You know what I mean? They want it done their way, so you got to give it to them their way. So I ran officially 4.34, 4.38. And he made me run it a third time, 4.40. But you had some stopwatches that caught me at, you know, on that 4.34, it caught you at 4.2 something. You know what I mean? Because I was at LSU. We had, you know, won a national championship a year or so ago. So we have everybody at our pro day. All teams are being represented at our pro day, right? So, you know, we got our trainers there, so they clocking on the stopwatch. So, you know, officially 4.34. Officially 4.38, and I ran it again just to tell them, like, this is who I am. It doesn't matter. I'm getting a little tired because I done ran it 3 times, so the time is going to be affected. So that was my 3 times. The last one was a 4.40. Killed the shuttle. You know, did the drills and stuff. I started one hand catching them in the drills at the end of the drills because we had been doing this. I know people have been one-handed catching before. We just didn't have the cameras and stuff to put it out there. What else? L drill, crazy time in the L drill. Shuttle, crazy time in there. That's being able to stop, start, plant, change direction on the dime. You know, my number was off the chart. And I remember going after, me and my dad, and we just went and ate crawfish after because I hadn't been eating all that stuff, you know, leading to that. So after that, we celebrated those numbers and stuff by eating crawfish with the guys. Marcus Spears, who else was there? Marcus Rando, Travis Daniels. We all went out and celebrated because we did great times. We all trained together, stayed in Baton Rouge, didn't go off to all those quote unquote places that make you faster, and got it done.
Gotcha. They make you faster. I think God did that already.
Facts.
All right.
Facts. And in 4 years, you was at your respective university. You know what I mean? So yes, all they normally do is dust you off and say, "Hey, look what we did. Come to this training facility. We could do this for you." Nah, cap.
They won't take the credit.
Call them glory grabbers.
Okay. All right.
I ain't with that.
So let's close up with, what advice would you give to future prospects to maximize their opportunities for the combine?
Just know that it's a job interview that you're going on. So how you present yourself, the things that you wear, you know, that's also important as well. You know what I mean? Having a suit, having, you know, yourself dress appropriately because you're going for a job interview. I always tell guys, leave the flip-flops in the room. You know, they are called house shoes for a reason, or shower slippers for a reason. Don't be caught around the facility with that because they are evaluating you. So know that you're being evaluated when you get off the plane. And they have things out there that you can prepare yourself for this. You know what I mean? Like I said, I wrote a program based off of preparing for, you know, this job interview. And I have also, you know, put it out there. It's about 30 guys that have been to my program that, you know, I don't think it's neither here nor there to say their names, but they know who they are. And they did it for the combine and also did it for other jobs, you know what I mean? So there's a program out here. Don't just think that, I didn't do it on my own. I sat down, I practiced my interview. I knew where the camera should be at. And if the camera was in a certain place, I made it to stand up versus sit down. I knew not to have gum in my mouth. I knew to slow down because I was from Louisiana and I talk fast and I speak sometimes with, I guess, not proper vernacular. I like to use colloquialism. So in those times, you know, we want to use proper vernacular and, you know, be able to communicate and articulate in a way where everybody understands because everybody is not from, you know, our culture or from our area. So proximity of place. So when you You gotta be a comedian and know how to change in and out and flow depending on who your audience is. But as of now, I like to speak with my slang. I like to speak, with vernacular sometimes and colloquialism because, I'm talking to a wide audience of people and I want to appease. Is that right? Mm-hmm. All those individuals, you know what I mean? Because I still got it. You understand? So just be yourself. Make sure that you're living a God-fearing life and know that it's a job interview that you're preparing for, and it's, an opportunity of a lifetime. So that's our show. And I hate to say a nutshell, but that's our show, man. Hopefully some of the guys can pick something up from it. If you're a young athlete out there, hey, you can hang your hat on some of these things. Don't forget, like I said, anything that I messed up on is an opportunity for me to correct it. So y'all comment below if I made a mistake. You can share in the comments that, hey, man, you didn't say this right, or this wasn't right, this was different. You know what I mean? You said you did 40 reps and it was only 10 reps. Hey, it's an opportunity for me to get better and to gain knowledge moving forward. But I'm going to continue to hit you guys with these videos, and I want you to be able to use them to your advantage so you don't have to go through the same stuff that I went through or that I experienced, and it can make your transition a little seamless. You understand me? So from me to you, we love you guys, and we out.